Today, I'm going to show you the best shoulder mobility exercise. We're going to question what mobility really is. This is going to be great for undoing all that sitting that you do all day. It's going to open up your shoulders. It's going to open up your chest. It's going to strengthen your shoulders and your posture altogether. This is the Knees Over Toes Guy. I'm Dr. John Cybulski with Anatomy of Therapy. We've got a podcast. We've got an Instagram. We've got a playlist of videos with exercise breakdowns just like this. But today we're talking about the lat pullover. Now this is a little bit different of a lat pullover. There's a little different techniques involved, and I'm going to show you the ideas behind it. But mostly I want to talk about this concept of mobility because it seems like mobility is just stretching, but mobility is not just stretching. The concept I really want to get today is the eccentric lengthening of the shoulder. So instead of stretching passively, we are stretching actively now with this weight, right? So it's a classic lat pullover, except he's let his hips drop down. So we've created kind of the opposite curve that happens usually in sitting. Typically the spine is bent forward, but in this position we have it bent backwards. That's kind of the main piece with the spine here and the setup with the hips down. The second piece is this lat pullover, and he's got his scapula rather on this bench. So there's a hinge point, and that hinge point is opposite of this sternum, which is a very important piece in therapy in general, that the sternum should be a hinge point. It should be a lever or a seesaw. Some people say bucket handle. It should go up and down. Typically, it just goes forward and it doesn't really go back. People can get it back, can get their chest to pop up. However, they can't keep it there because there's no load. It's only there passively. This is the cure to that. So this, Ben's got quite a bit of weight here. This looks like a 30, maybe a 35. And what we're doing is slowly lowering it back. So we're eccentrically extending, lengthening all of these muscles here in the front. So his pecs are lengthening. This is a great pec minor stretch. And now the lats, the subscap, you're going to get a lot of triceps brachii action here as well. You can see the serratus kind of poking up to keep these ribs down. You can see his face working hard, and he's going to let it go back. At this point, he is ultimately lengthening. And then with this weight, all of this tissue, think about the muscles more as a tissue. They are being pulled long, and there's a tension in them that is going to maintain the stretch better than just kind of a passive lat stretch, right? So then he pulls it right the way back up and back down. The other part of this, like I said, if these hips aren't down, you don't get that full shoulder flexion and thoracic extension. So this is shoulder flexion up overhead, but thoracic extension. You can see the bend back here, right? He's keeping his head in a neutral impact position, which means the neck is safe to do this. I would encourage those, if you've never done a pullover such as this, to start with a little bit lower weight. This is part of his dense program. You can check it out on his app and all that other stuff. But start lower on this. Lower your hips down, and then slowly and eccentrically let that weight go back, and it's going to pull. You're going to feel through the lat, you're going to feel through the subscap, you're going to feel your serratus engage. And what I like to do with these, with a little bit lighter weight perhaps, is slowly bring it back up so that you start to feel, you can see it contracting there. He's going to get a lot of blood flow into his posterior rotator cuff. This is one of the best shoulder mobility exercises you will come across. It takes some time to kind of build into this. It takes some focus to kind of keep your hips down like that. It takes a second to let your shoulders all go all the way back, and then it takes some strength to bring it back up. This has all the pieces of an amazing shoulder mobility exercise. Check it out. If you're into this sort of thing, if you like what we heard today, hit that like button. We've got a podcast episode I'll link below to thoracic rotation and shoulder mobility. There's two of them that we've talked about at length. We're doing this quick, but if you want to hear us talk longer about this, me and my best bud Bobby go into a bunch of it. Follow us on Instagram. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. You're going to see 2 videos here in a second in a playlist. There's subscribe buttons just below. It's that red one. But go ahead and click that. Y'all have a wonderful day. Peace.